In George Orwell's 1984, Julia is a complex and multifaceted character whose role in the narrative provides a counterpoint to Winston Smith, the novel's protagonist. As Winston's lover and fellow rebel, Julia serves as both a catalyst for his rebellion and a foil to his ideological approach. Her character offers insight into themes of individuality, resistance, and the human desire for personal freedom, while also highlighting the limitations of rebellion in a totalitarian society. Through Julia, Orwell explores the interplay between personal and political resistance, and the ways in which authoritarian regimes suppress both. Role in the narrative: Julia enters the story as a mysterious figure, initially arousing Winston's suspicion and hostility. However, her true intentions are revealed when she passes him a note confessing her love. This act initiates their relationship, which becomes a central element of the narrative. Julia and Winston's affair represents an act of defiance against the party, as it rejects the party's control over personal relationships and sexuality. Unlike Winston, whose rebellion is deeply intellectual and rooted in a desire to understand and dismantle the party's power, Julia's resistance is more personal and hedonistic. She despises the party's intrusion into her private life and seeks to reclaim her autonomy through acts of defiance, such as engaging in forbidden relationships and enjoying pleasures like sex and real coffee. Her approach to rebellion is pragmatic and rooted in the present, contrasting with Winston's idealistic and future-oriented vision. Julia's relationship with Winston also allows Orwell to explore the dynamics of trust and intimacy in a society dominated by surveillance and control. Their love affair provides Winston with a sense of hope and humanity, even as it ultimately leads to their downfall. The room above Mr. Charrington's shop, where they conduct their trysts, becomes a temporary sanctuary from the party's oppression, symbolizing the fragile and fleeting nature of their rebellion. For Winston, Julia represents a source of hope and a reminder of his humanity. Her love and defiance inspire him to embrace his own rebellion and dream of a world free from the party's control. However, their relationship also exposes the vulnerabilities of rebellion, as their love becomes a target for the party's manipulation and destruction. Julia's betrayal under torture shatters Winston's illusions and underscores the futility of resistance in a society where the party wields absolute power. Symbolic significance: Julia symbolizes the personal and instinctual side of rebellion, emphasizing the importance of individuality and human connection in the face of dehumanizing oppression. Her defiance of the party's puritanical policies on sex and relationships highlights the regime's attempt to control not only public behavior, but also private desires and emotions. By reclaiming her sexuality and pursuing forbidden pleasures, Julia asserts her humanity and challenges the party's authority. At the same time, Julia's character underscores the limitations of individual resistance in a totalitarian state. Her rebellion is primarily self-centered and lacks the ideological depth of Winston's. While she is adept at navigating the party's systems and evading detection, her actions are ultimately insufficient to pose a significant threat to the regime. This contrast between Julia's pragmatic defiance and Winston's ideological fervor highlights the challenges of mounting effective resistance in a society where the party controls every aspect of life. Julia's relationship with Winston also carries symbolic weight. Together, they represent the human desire for connection and freedom, and the vulnerability of those desires under totalitarian rule. Their love is an act of rebellion, but it is also a source of hope and meaning in an otherwise bleak world. The eventual betrayal of their relationship under torture underscores the party's ability to destroy even the most intimate bonds, demonstrating the extent of its power. Broader implications: Julia's character serves as a commentary on the ways in which authoritarian regimes suppress individuality and co-opt personal desires to maintain control. Her rebellion is rooted in her refusal to conform to the party's expectations, particularly its efforts to regulate sexuality and personal relationships. By portraying Julia as a character who prioritizes personal freedom over ideological purity, Orwell highlights the fundamental human need for autonomy and self-expression. However, Julia's pragmatic approach to resistance also raises questions about the effectiveness of individual defiance in the face of systemic oppression. Her focus on personal gratification and her lack of interest in broader political change suggest that small acts of rebellion, while meaningful, are ultimately insufficient to challenge the party's power. This dynamic reflects Orwell's wider critique of totalitarianism, which thrives on the fragmentation and isolation of individuals. Julia's character also invites readers to consider the gendered dimensions of resistance. Her rebellion is rooted in her body and her personal experiences, contrasting with Winston's intellectual and political motivations. This distinction highlights the ways in which authoritarian regimes exploit and control gender roles, using them as tools to suppress dissent and enforce conformity. By reclaiming her sexuality and asserting her autonomy, Julia challenges these dynamics, even as her resistance is ultimately crushed. Conclusion: Julia is a vital and multifaceted character in 1984, embodying the personal and instinctual side of resistance in a totalitarian society. Her relationship with Winston provides a counterpoint to his ideological rebellion, emphasizing the importance of human connection and individuality in the face of oppression. At the same time, her pragmatic approach to defiance highlights the limitations of individual resistance and the pervasive power of the party. Julia's character serves as a lens through which to explore the themes of individuality, resistance, and the human cost of totalitarianism. Her pragmatic defiance and eventual defeat highlight the challenges of maintaining autonomy and humanity in an oppressive system. Through Julia, Orwell invites readers to consider the importance of personal freedom and the ways in which authoritarian regimes seek to suppress it.